That audacious escape of Thabo Bester and his partner this past weekend certainly captured most of our headlines recently. But the news this past Friday that the Gupta brothers had slipped the extradition net in Dubai is a devastating blow for the state prosecutors, hoping to charge them for large-scale corruption and state capture. A Dubai court denying South Africa's request that they be sent back to face the music. Well, it's depressing news, as the Gupta family believed to be central to state capture. I'm joined now by legal expert Selby Makgotho to look at the legal avenues now open to South African authorities in their pursuit of the Gupta brothers. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, we are so wrapped up in what's happened with Thabo Bester, and, you know, the police are very pleased that they've managed to apprehend Bester and Dr. Nandipa in Tanzania. But the reality is, two people who really should be coming back to South Africa to answer around state capture have slipped the net. They're out of the UAE. The Justice Department saying that they've heard the brothers are citizens of the Pacific island of Vanuatu. What is our best legal route now to not only find them, but also bring them back to South Africa?
Thank you very much, Sally. Good evening to the viewers, and thank you for the opportunity. Well, yeah, this has been quite a devastating blow. Actually, it was just a little bit of an extraordinary Easter weekend, given the several news that plagued the South African criminal justice system in the main. But coming back to the issue at hand, there are quite a number of options that South Africa could pursue. Firstly, being either to appeal the judgment as it is, make submissions to the United Arab Emirates, and do indicate that the extradition of the Guptas first is in the interest of justice, and that they will be subjected to the laws of the Republic of South Africa. But most importantly, that the answers that they are supposed to give will be of assistance to the South African public, to the South African government, and most importantly, the taxpayers of this country, because it is they have been mentioned in quite a number of a whole range of allegations of wrongdoing, misappropriation, massive looting that ultimately occurred, as we have seen from the Zondo Commission, the findings there, the recommendations that they be prosecuted. But again, the other area would be to start the process afresh. There have been technicalities that have been mentioned. It would not be a difficult thing to do, because the two countries, being South Africa and the United Arab Emirates, are signatories to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, and this platform provides for the two countries to work together on issues of mutual legal assistance, on issues of criminalization, on issues of asset recovery, but more importantly, on the exchange of information. It beggars one to ask, it is mind-boggling, because in this particular given set of circumstances, it would appear that South Africa did not know what was happening almost 10 weeks after the outcome of the United Arab Emirates decision has been pronounced. So this does not augur well, both at the diplomatic level between the two countries, but most importantly, in as far as the extradition proceedings are concerned.
But explain to me, what would the point be of appealing the judgment of a Dubai court when we are told that the Guptas are no longer in Dubai?
Remember, Sally, one of the general principles of international law in as far as extradition is concerned is that the crime that is alleged to have been committed by the fugitives, in this particular instance, the three Gupta brothers, should be recognized as a crime in both countries. Extradition by its own nature is a protracted process. But again, the other option that has been there, which I think we seem to have missed the point, is the issuing of the red notice by Interpol. The missing of the point occurred in the sense that it would appear that it was interpreted to mean that they have been arrested, put in jail in the United Arab Emirates. So through the Interpol, which remember was issued sometime in June, if not July last year, and has since lapsed. So it will then mean that this red notice should be reactivated, and the Gupta brothers, wherever they are, now they are alleged to have been seen in Switzerland, now they've moved to another country. But once the red notice alert is issued and the extradition papers are compiled and resubmitted, then the extradition process should ultimately commence without any further hurdles.
And just a question that we're receiving a lot is, what's the difference? Why is Thabo Bester, Dr. Nandipha Magurumana going to be deported from Tanzania, but the Guptas will need to be extradited? And my understanding, and you'll give us insight, is it's purely because Thabo Bester and his partner are in Tanzania on false passports. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct, Sally. Extradition, it's a formal process where in South Africa is the requesting state to the United Arab Emirates, which is the requested state in this particular matter, to hand in the fugitives who have to come back to South Africa, because that is where the crime, as alleged, had occurred. But on the Thabo Bester issue, remember, Bester was already found guilty, was already serving jail term. He escaped from prison, and by the time when he was already serving that sentence. So to deport him back will be the best option under the given circumstances, because it's not like now there is going to be that the crime that Bester was accused of had happened in South Africa. He was arrested in South Africa, sentenced in South Africa. It's just that he did what he did with the accomplices, so they ought to be deported back. So deporting primarily is the procedure where in Tanzania will then say to South Africa, no, here are the suspected criminals, and then that is what needs to happen. But again, there is also a little bit of an angle to that, because remember, they were found in Tanzania, and Tanzanian Immigration Act will then have to be looked into by the Tanzanian authorities, firstly to establish how did the transgressions occur such that Bester and the partner and the alleged Mozambican national ended up in Tanzania. How did they arrive there? When and what was the reason for being in Tanzania? So it would mean that they also have questions to answer to the Tanzanian authorities. So as and when they are deported back to South Africa, it's just a question of Bester being taken back to the prison cells, and for those who assisted him to escape, also to face the full might of the law.
Yeah, absolutely. The hammer is starting to come down now. Thank you so much for your insights, legal expert Selby Makgotho. And of course, after 7 o'clock, we are hoping to speak to the DA's Glynis Breitenbach about that parliamentary committee hearing today into